So today I had somebody bring in two pieces and they go, oh, I've got an N.C. Wyeth and I have a Charlie Russell. Now, right off the bat, I'm going to go, I doubt it, but they were convinced they had an original oils on both. These were original oils. And so they made an appointment to bring them in. So I want to give you a little idea of what you need to do when you are out shopping. You might be at a junk store or something and you think you might have found that, great painting that no one knows about. Well, there are things to look for, and it's very important that you know these. So let's just go through some of the things you're going to look at when something comes in or possibly you have an opportunity to buy. And this is what I did when I looked at these two paintings today. First, on the Charlie Russell, you want to look and see, when did the guy live? When did he die? So, Russell lived in early part of America. He died in 1926 from heart disease. Now, you go, okay, so he died in 26. Let's look at this painting. You look at the back of the painting first. That's very important you do that because the back of the painting is going to tell you just as much, if not more, about the painting. And so you look at that and you see it's a white canvas. And the bars, the stretcher bars, are not they're white. They're more of a light pine. They're not dark honeysuckle kind of color. That's because they haven't had time to oxidize. So, and if you look, you'll see little staples right here. You can see the staples. Staples are not going to be in an early painting. This guy died in 26. You didn't start seeing staples being used in paintings really until about 1941. And swing line, which is the easy load of rows of staples, didn't even come in existence until 1937. So your antenna should be huge at this point that something is very not right. This is not an old painting. Also, you'll see a tag on the back. This will help you a lot because it tells the title. It actually tells when he lived and died. And so you could just Google the name of the title of the painting and see if it's in a museum. If the piece you are looking at is also in a museum collection, it was either stolen out of the museum or it's not that. It was made as a copy. So the back of those paintings, you look for the titles, and that's going to help you a great deal. So you can also look at the front of the painting. You would think, well, that's the first thing I should look at. Well, it's part of it, but the back sometimes just tells you everything you need to know. And in this particular case, you can see that the color is kind of a yellow. It's not really a colorful painting. That's because probably the resin that they put on it, the fixature, has changed over time. You don't have the colors. It doesn't look like the original painting. It's very much different. Also, if you were to take a loop to it, you might see some pixels to it, or you would see kind of a glaziness to it. This is not what you expect to find in an original. So that's number one painting. Number two painting was an N.C. Wyeth. Came in at the same time. Now, it would have been great if they were both original, because those would be $1,000,000 paintings, but it's not going to happen, right? Very unlikely. So in this painting, again, let's look at the back. And what do we see? Well, we see these arrow steel push points that are used on picture frames. Again, these are a relatively new, very contemporary kind of thing, and it's not going to be Wyeth. Wyeth dies in 1945. We know the painting couldn't be any later than 1945, and in this case, it's dated, I believe, 1906. So again, you can see on the back, there's a museum tag. This particular piece you could find in a museum collection if they would just take the time to do it. Then you look at the front, you can see where there's waviness on the sides. This waviness would not probably be seen in a painting, not like this. You might sometimes could get some waviness in a canvas, but not like this. Also, if you'll notice, on the canvas itself, if you touch it, it's very important to use feel. It's one of the things you do. You can smell things, you can feel things, you can look at things, you can even taste things. But in this case, just take your finger, it's not going to hurt a painting if you're careful, and touch it and see what it feels like. Well, if it has paint, there's going to be texture to it. There's no texture. There's no texture on this painting. It's simply a flat print of a famous N.C. Wyeth painting. And if you look at the back first and not the front, it's probably going to tell you all you need to know. The other thing you can always do too is look at the frame. If they have a really clunky old frame, it was probably done for a print. I mean, a great painting by an N.C. Wyeth or Charlie Russell, even an old painting, will probably have a really good frame on it. And it's not that they couldn't be found in, say, a secondhand store. Those things do happen. I've seen them. I've seen it happen. But chances are it's going to be a print or a giclée. It's going to be something newer. So if you really want to save yourself a lot of time, just do a couple things. Look at the back of the painting. see if it's old or new. Take it out of the frame if you can. This is probably going to tell you a lot too. You may see a copyright. And don't spend any money without at least Googling the name of the title on the back. If you have it, it's going to show you a lot. And you're going to save time, money, and I won't have to look at it.